Okay, just wanted to do a very light-hearted video about recently outed self-loathing homosexual and former head of the Republican anti-American terrorist religious cult, Dennis Hastert, a confirmed pedophile who preyed on young boys, much like Republican conservative Jerry Sandusky and Republican Mark Foley. These seem to be patterns within not only the Republican anti-American terrorist religious cult, but also within religion itself. The breeding ground is religion. The rate of pedophilia is alarming when you look at the groups that commit it. 96% of convicted, admitted pedophiles are white male Christians. This is not an accident. You can look at the Catholic Church and see what they've been breeding there for literally centuries. So we've got this abominable creature, Dennis Hastert, who had been preying on young boys for decades and was the leader of the Republican anti-American terrorist religious cult. Now, what's amazing is there has been no public outcry by the Republicans, who considers themselves the bastions of morality, the superiors, the moral superiors, always giving themselves the moral high ground, despite these repeated incidents. Larry Craig kicking a police officer's foot under a bathroom door and pretending he's not gay when he was making sexual advances at another man. Another GOP religious kook who has been voting against gay rights for ages. David Duke, another self-loathing homosexual Republican, ardent supporter of Donald Drumpf, who has been literally preaching against his own homosexuality for ages. It's religion that causes them to be disturbed in their head and doesn't allow them to accept their own normality because they have been brainwashed to think otherwise. It's very creepy and twisted. But so now we have Hastert committing the most offensive acts of criminal sexual abuse that exists. A man physically assaulting a small boy. It's grisly, perfectly grisly. Now, where is the Republican cult, the faith and family values cult, to come out against this? Instead, there's been support for Hastert by convicted felon and former head of the Republican cult as well, House Whip Tom DeLay. A convicted felon also wrote a letter of support saying something about Hastert being a man of integrity. That's a quote verbatim, a man of integrity. And he also says something about having never seen Dennis Hastert do a bad thing to anyone. Well, apparently he wasn't around while Hastert was raping small boys, because he did that for a very long period of time and was caught paying hush money to the families or the victim to keep the whole matter quiet. This is a pattern also where they cover things up. But where is the GOP on this? Where are they to condemn their own former leaders' ghastly and reprehensible criminal behavior? Where are these leaders of morality to give everyone a lesson how this conduct is purely evil, monstrous, abhorring, and disgusting, and absolutely must be dealt with at the source? He received a 15-month sentence. This monster Hastert should be in prison forever. He raped small boys. It's grisly stuff. Perfectly ghastly. Where is the faith and family values cult to talk about this publicly, condemn it, and denounce it, as well as denouncing their former head of their cult? No, instead they're writing letters of support rather than condemning Hastert for his vile conduct. Since he was the former head of their cult, they don't want that. They want to distance themselves from him. And their way of distancing themselves from him was by writing letters of support for him, and what a man of great character he is and was. So the GOP is writing letters of support for this disgusting, vile piece of garbage. And at the same time, they're promoting to a presidential candidate status a racist, sexist, imbecile, 4-time draft dodger, 4-time bankruptcy filing, birther, imbecile who wants to build a wall between Mexico and America and have them pay for it. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to accommodate that. Yeah, we're sure they're going to accommodate that. That's going to happen. But now, in retrospect, looking at Drumpf, who's an imbecile and a moron to begin with, Drumpf has now backtracked on that. This 4-time draft-dodging, cowardly little sissy with the little tiny lady hands is now saying all of those big words, all that rhetoric was just that. Nothing. He calls them suggestions. That's where you're at this point. A racist, sexist degenerate is now being promoted. Now all of those Republicans who are clamoring to be by Donald Trump's side as his VP enlistee, those very animals who told us all that Drumpf was a con man, a fraudster, a habitual liar, a sexist, a racist, a birther, shared all of the same traits that the worst common criminals have. They told us this for how long? For months. They had campaigns within their own party against him. Yet they still promote him now and eagerly attach themselves to him like little burrs on Drumpf's shoelaces. It's just ghastly. So you've got Hastert squeaking by, getting an open pass from the Faith and Family Values Party. Now you have vile pedophile and former head of the Republican cult, Hastert, skating on by while they erect a monument to a racist, sexist, birther degenerate. This is where you're at with the Republican cult, and this is why it's crumbling. See, the Republicans are doing this all to themselves. They're making it easy for the next Democratic candidate to slide in as president. We're hoping it's Bernie. We would like to see Bernie Sanders. He's got a better head on his shoulders. He's more reliable. He's more trustworthy. Some of his ideas are a little bit pie in the sky, but hell, if you don't shoot for the stars, you're not going to get anything. Keep your aspirations high. That's what Barack Obama did. That's why he's been such a good president. Despite a lot of the bad mouthing of him, he's been extraordinarily good, even with the roadblock that the GOP has put in his way throughout his entire 7+ years in office. He's done an amazing job. The dollar has been stable for years now. The stock markets are way up, having doubled from where Bush left them, having collapsed them from where Clinton left them. So as much as we'd like Bernie, we still somehow see the force of the party trying to slide Hillary in there. She voted for the Iraq war. We don't agree with that. She thought she was hedging her bet that if that went well, she would have sided with the group that said they wanted to do it. Which, when you're looking at something like that, you have to say, this can never go well. You can never attack an innocent country and have it go well. So Hillary should have never voted for it. Bernie voted against it, better head on his shoulders. More reliable, Wall Street connection, etc. We want Bernie. But again, the GOP tearing themselves down, giving us Trump, allowing Hastert, this creature, evil creature, to slide on by and rather than condemning it, are actually writing letters of support. They want to show they're morally superior. Why don't they act it? This is just unbelievable. The GOP couldn't reach a new low if they tried. They're literally digging themselves in head first. We love it because we loathe them. Their idea of conservatism is telling everyone what to do. That isn't freedom, it's never going to take, and it's going to be uprooted and tossed into the fire. They're not getting it. They are the future firewood. America is the force behind the bonfire. They don't get it. They're 23% of America and slipping fast. And now they're promoting drumpf. Where do they think it's going to go from there? It's not going to be up. That's for damn sure.